Have you ever noticed how some people just kinda disappear from social media? Not in a big, dramatic, I'm leaving kind of way, but they just slowly fade out. They stop posting. Well, in this explainer, we're going to unpack the really surprising psychology behind why people do this and what it tells us about happiness and, well, inner security. This quote right here, it just cuts right to the chase, doesn't it? It feels a little weird, a little counterintuitive. I mean, we're told constantly that social media is for sharing, for connecting. But what if real, true contentment actually comes from the exact opposite? From just not feeling that urge to share everything all the time?
And let's be super clear about something. This isn't about being antisocial or hiding from the world. No, it's about having this really powerful trait, this thing called inner security. It's a kind of confidence that just doesn't need a single like or comment to feel validated.
So why are people stepping back then? Well, a huge part of it is escaping something I am sure we've all felt. It's called the comparison trap. Let's dive into why that endless, mindless scroll can leave you feeling so completely drained.
Okay, so at the very core of this is a classic psychological driver called social comparison theory. It's basically just a fancy way of saying it's totally natural for us to look at other people to figure out how we're doing. But the problem is, social media has taken that normal human tendency and put it on steroids. It's just comparison in overdrive 24/7.
And this is the fundamental issue, right here in a nutshell. We're constantly comparing our own messy, complicated, behind-the-scenes life with everyone else's perfectly polished highlight reel. It's a completely unfair fight from the start. And you know what? It's a game that's pretty much impossible to win.
So if that's the trap, what's the escape hatch? How do you break free from that exhausting cycle? Well, the alternative is all about embracing a trait that's becoming more and more rare and, honestly, more and more valuable: privacy. And we're not just talking about deleting your apps or logging off for a weekend. No, this is about building a really rare and powerful mindset that can fundamentally change your entire relationship with sharing your life online. And that mindset is called privacy orientation. I absolutely love this definition because it totally reframes what we think privacy is. It's not about being secretive or having something to hide. It's about confidence. It's about being so secure and content in your own life that the impulse to broadcast it just kind of fades away. You get the validation from living the moment, not from the likes you get for posting. So we really need to completely rethink what it means when someone goes quiet online. It's not them being antisocial, it's them being pro-self. It isn't a sign of insecurity, it's actually a sign of incredible strength. They're not hiding from the world, they're just more present and content in their own.
Okay, so this all sounds great, but how do we actually get there? How do we build this inner security for ourselves? Well, it really all boils down to the power of truly knowing who you are, without needing an audience to tell you.
The bedrock, the absolute foundation for this, is a psychological idea called self-concept clarity. The best way to think about it is like having your own internal anchor. It's knowing your values, your passions, your strengths, your weaknesses so deeply that the crazy shifting winds of online opinions and likes and comments, they just can't knock you off balance. This really breaks it down into two very different ways of being. On one hand, you have the externally validated person. They're basically outsourcing their self-esteem to social media. Their feeling of self-worth goes up and down with every single notification. But the internally secure person, their self-worth is a constant. It's something they own, not something they have to rent from an app.
All right, so let's start to wrap this all up by turning the camera background onto us. How can we take these ideas and start to redefine our own digital footprint and really our whole relationship with being online?
Maybe the biggest thing to take away from all of this is right here. If you have ever felt that urge to just pull back, to post less, you need to listen to that instinct. It doesn't mean you're bad at social media. Choosing to step back can be an incredibly powerful and important act of self-care. And this leads to a pretty critical question that, honestly, we should all probably ask ourselves more often. Take a look at your own profile, your posts, the version of you that you've built online. Does that person actually match who you really are? Or is it just a performance for an audience? So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If you stripped it all away, all the followers, the likes, the comments, the shares, what's left? Who are you when there's no one watching?